Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
I just realized I lost
Hello.
my phone. We have a special guest today. You know what? We can't really see you. Hold on.
That's fine. Just keep it where I'm at.
Oh my gosh. Yes, we have a special guest today, Kelly,
Just real
aka
quick.
Kells,
Wait, I see it. Never mind. I figured it out. Hello.
and we're gonna rewatch the Tennessee hearing. And she was there. Kelly was there. I didn't make it this last one, but we figured we get the whole what happened in the background, the skibbity doo on that.
Skibbity doo. Skibbity doo.
Oh, just
Wackadoodle.
skibbity doo. Yeah.
That cracked me up.
Oh man, I tell you, I've been on my soapbox all morning. I needed a laugh, y'all. It's been tough.
It has. I can't even get away from it. I keep saying I'm going to step away from it, and then
It's on your mind all the
it
time.
is. I can't get it off. I can't. I'm frustrated in so many different ways. Yeah.
Yeah. I
This
mean,
has been rough. This is not what I expected to happen when it came here at all.
Yeah, it's a totally different avenue.
It
way it's
is.
going on in
Right.
Tennessee.
The whole time I totally pictured myself speaking, you know what I mean? Like getting my voice heard. And I just had this very powerful statement I was going to make, and they never let me make it. And to me, there's something wrong with that. That's something, it doesn't seem right. Why is it every other ones that we sit in on, they allow people to speak? Why is it this one won't?
Yeah.
Well, I know why
This
they
one-
won't, because they don't care. They've already made up their mind, at least that particular committee.
Because this one is going in like lightning fast speed.
Right.
Know? And when we all flew in, when we came in on the 11th, I still remember when that hearing ended at 1:30, and everybody, like you said, there was an audible gasp
Mm-hmm.
in the audience when that gavel went down at 1:30.
Mm-hmm.
We were all looking around like, what?
What just happened? And they did that on purpose. I guarantee you that was with full of intent. They did that on purpose.
Yep.
They did. And there was a gasp too at this last meeting when he made the statement about the kids saying that it was worse than crack. Everybody on our side, like they were like, what? Like speaking, which you're not supposed to really do, but we were all like, what? Like you that is the most craziest statement I've heard to date.
And then when the hearing was done, were people clapping?
No.
I swore I heard claps.
No, it was busy. It looked like there was a union thing going on because there was a whole big group of guys with like their yellow safety jackets on. So I think it might have been like a union thing, and then something to do with parents and schooling. So it was a packed house. People were waiting up for us to leave in order to get in. Because
I'm gonna tag you on Facebook, Kelly.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's how it was when we were there on the 11th, and when it was done, then all of a sudden the room is starting to fill up with like middle school kids.
Yeah,
I noticed that they do a lot of field trips there because there were a couple kids in there. And then at the beginning of the meeting, they called out a couple kids that were there on like a follow, like they were homeschoolers that were following people for a homeschool thing. And
yeah, I told my youngest here, I was like, I wish I could take him with me. Like, I wish I could just be like, you know what, we're gonna play hooky and go see the legislative process in real life type of thing.
Charlie May's spring break is coming up, so she will be with me. So
oh, that's cool.
I got to bring her with me. I have no other choice but to bring her with me.
Spring break this week, and that's another thing that like was killing me because I'm like, man, this would be the perfect time to take it. But I mean, I just physically could not. I couldn't.
I want them to see me with my daughter too, because
yep.
The way my sister, who's in Michigan, and I'm so focused on Tennessee right now that I will admit that I'm kind of backing up, but I do need to get the information from Michigan for my sister.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah. She's a Michigan resident.
What happened in Michigan is actually worse than what's happening in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Right, because didn't they, I don't know the term, but didn't they skip the House and went straight to Senate? Is that what happened?
They went straight to the floor.
Yeah,
Oh,
they didn't have any subcommittee things or anything. It went
nothing.
straight to the floor.
And they're like, I don't know. I wish I knew more of the process because I feel like, are they allowed to do that?
It's got to be some legal ass loophole. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be something like that because they're
I
all a
have
bunch
no
of
idea.
damn
I don't
lawyers.
know if you guys have ever been to Michigan, but I will tell you, the place smells like a dispensary. There are dispensaries on every corner, and there are liquor stores literally everywhere.
Sounds like Colorado.
In fact, my sister took my mom to a smoke shop recently, and she was like, "Oh, Kelly," because my sister's so drug naive, and she was like, "Look, it's like peach whipped cream," and I was like, "Sister, that's nitrous. They're selling nitrous in their smoke shops, and you guys are worried about kratom?"
This is what I'm saying. How come there isn't like a smoke shops union or something? Why isn't
Yeah.
America going around and wiping out all the bad stuff in the smoke shops? Because when I go to the Champ Show, nitrous is there. It's in these big old freaking.
Are you serious? Yeah,
posters.
the big fancy kid looking.
Yeah.
It'll be like peaches and cream and strawberry
Yep.
cheesecake and all these. Nobody who is making whipped cream goes to the smoke shop. Everybody knows
Yeah.
what it's for.
Y'all,
And
I used to
not
have
to
to go to
mention
the
that, but
porn shop back in my day to get the Whippet crackers.
yes, yep, girl, I remember those days too. Now you can just walk into your local smoke shop and you can buy so many different things that are so harmful, but they've honed in on this, and I know why they honed in on it.
Yeah.
It's a money grab. There's a big agenda behind it, a
It's
huge
all
agenda.
about money. It's like they
It's all about
front it
money.
as they care about people, but like even we know, I mean, there's always money, even if you don't see it. A lot of these things are, the lawsuits and stuff like that.
It's
Oh,
all type of
hey,
money.
I'm so sorry. I just realized that I didn't have the comments about Shuffle Tennessee weather.
I think I have where the comments are on where I can see them. I don't know.
Oh shoot. I don't know if you can or not.
I think I
You would have
can.
to-
I think
I
I
don't
can.
know, honestly.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You are Kelly. Are you Kel's 555 on X?
Yeah, that's her.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Just want to make sure before I tag some random lady named
I
Kel.
don't really use X. So I need to because it seems like the only one that's not censored so bad.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's
I just need to learn how to use it.
all right. I'm done sharing whenever you want to. I feel like I interrupted someone, and I want to apologize. I don't know which one. I just sitting over here trying to.
I don't even know. This is a live. Anything can happen. Okay. All right, we're gonna play the hearing that happened on March 18th in Tennessee. We're gonna replay it. So,
Oh, it's gonna be tough.
yeah,
I know it is tough. It's a tough
I
watch.
want you to get pissed off.
Yes.
Has everyone voted? Everyone wants to change their vote. All right, Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Okay,
Did it started out at the right place?
Mr. Chair, you have 13 ayes, 0 noes, and 2 present not voting.
Very good. House Bill 2270 as amended is moving to Finance, Ways and Means. Good luck in that committee.
This
Thank
is
you,
when
Mr. Chair.
Johnson did the
Very
whole
good. All right,
ooh.
moving on. All right. Members, if without objection, let's move to item 6. That's House Bill 1649. Ma'am, you got a motion and a second, and I don't see any amendments on this bill. You are properly recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today, I'm presenting House Bill 1649 to ban kratom in all forms in Tennessee. Last year, we passed HJR 147 with bipartisan support to ban or regulate kratom. Kratom is a tropical tree native to Southeast Asia. In the United States, it's sold as fresh leaves, dried powder, capsules, tablets, extracts, and concentrated shots. Kratom contains compounds that activate opioid receptors in the brain, mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine, and is often referred to as gas station heroin. It can be 13 times stronger than morphine. At low doses, it has stimulant-like effects. At higher doses, it has sedative opioid-like effects. This bill addresses the growing public health and safety concerns surrounding kratom. Often marketed as a natural supplement, but natural does not mean safe. The FDA maintains firm stance against the use of Kratom, natural and synthetic, stating it is not safe and has no approved medical use and carries significant risk. The Center for Disease Control states that Kratom is an emerging health threat for potential overdoses, addiction, and
God.
contamination. The Drug Enforcement Agency lists Kratom as a drug and chemical of
know what I
concern
did,
with
y'all.
potential of abuse and safety risk. The total ban is supported by Tennessee Medical Association, Tennessee Association of Alcohol, Drug, and Other Addiction Services, the TBI, the Sheriff's Association, Chiefs of Police, Tennessee Fuel and Convenience Store Association, and the Foundation for Drug Policy Solutions. This bill does 6 things. It prohibits the sale and distribution of Kratom, Mitragynine, 7-hydroxymitragynine, and all derivatives in Tennessee. It establishes criminal penalties and strengthens oversight. It strengthens death investigations by requiring a county medical examiner to test for the presence of Kratom during an autopsy when the suspected cause of death is a drug overdose. It expands toxicology testing in medical settings, requiring physicians who order toxicology testing for suspected drug overdoses or suspected neonatal abstinence syndrome to include testings for the presence of Kratom. It updates workplace drug policy, requiring the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development to promulgate a rule adding Kratom to the definition of a drug. And number 6, it designates this act as Matthew Davenport's law, effective date July 1st, 2026. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very good, and thank you for that explanation. Members, we have testimony on this bill. We want to go ahead and go out of session and hear from our guests. Any objection? All right, seeing none. We're going to go out of session and hear from Karen Davenport. I have Nicholas Conley, Matthew Bruin, and also if we could bring up Jack Henningfield, Heidi Sikora, and Sheldon Bradshaw. Very good. And what we'll do, we'll start down here with you, ma'am, and we'll work our way this direction to my right, your left. Each of you just introduce yourself. You'll have 3 minutes to say what you need to say. And then once everybody's finished with that, we'll open it up for questions for the committee. So you'll know your microphone's on when the little red light comes on there, and you'll have 3 minutes. So you're probably recognized.
Chairman and members of committee, thank you for allowing me to speak today. I'm Karen Davenport. I'm a nurse practitioner, a mother, and a grandmother, and I'm here today because my 27-year-old son, Matthew Davenport, died unexpectedly 2 years ago today. On this very day at 5:30 in the morning, we got the call that no parent wants to receive. Matthew was one of my twins. He was kind and thoughtful, and a young man who struggled with anxiety and depression. He was working hard to rebuild his life after overcoming alcohol addiction. He was living in a sober home and actively continuing with his recovery. As a nurse practitioner, I believe that I understood the risks my sons might face, but I never heard of Kratom until the day we lost him. Like many families, we did not realize the risk because Kratom is often marketed and sold as a safe, natural product. Matthew was found unresponsive in his bed, and despite attempts to revive him, he could not be saved.
Can I
The
say something
Hamilton
real
County
quick?
medical examiner determined that Matthew died from intoxication involving
Business.
prescription diphenhydramine, Duloxetine, Cymbalta, Buspirone, and a dietary supplement called Mitragynine.
All right.
I just
sorry.
wanted to say really quickly that I just thought of this, hearing her say she's a nurse practitioner and
Mhm.
she had never heard of Kratom until her son. So if it is so bad and it's killing so many people and there's so many people addicted, why did you never hear about that until your son? Right?
Yeah,
You see what I'm
you
saying?
got a
Like, what?
point.
If it was so bad, if you're a nurse practitioner, you're seeing patients. Wouldn't multiple patients have said that they had a problem, but she'd never heard of it? I just had to say that. Watching her I do sympathize with her losing her
Yeah.
son. I do. Her twin son. That's horrible. But yeah, go ahead and push play. This, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
but it's like, again, like emotions shouldn't
They
set
should not
policy.
dictate policy.
Yeah,
Absolutely. No.
period.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The manner of death was ruled as an accident. The mitragynine we found in Matt's car was sent to the University of Florida and analyzed by Dr. Christopher McCurdy, finding it to be pure leaf kratom. The primary active compound found in kratom. It was one of the substances involved in the fatal intoxication. Kratom is marketed, of course, as a natural supplement and sold openly in convenience stores across our communities. Yet its primary compounds have the same effect on the opioid receptors in the brain and can act dangerously with other medications. Matthew was a young man in recovery who was trying to rebuild his future. It's such a paradox that kratom is illegal to import into the United States, yet this substance is sold openly in convenience stores on every corner and in vape shops. It became part of the combination of drugs that ended my son's life. Nothing this committee does today will bring my son Matthew back, but what you do here today may determine whether another Tennessee family has to experience the same loss. Thank you for listening.
Did I freeze up? Did I freeze up, ladies? Because I don't hear anything.
Dude,
There we go.
did I cause this? Oh, I'm sorry, Missy, you're on mute. Hold on.
Oh my God, no. I paused it. Was I mute the whole time?
Yeah.
I think
Damn
you
it.
were.
Damn it. No, I was saying, what did I say? I said, how is it that, it's a combination of drugs that killed her son, but this bill is solely directed at kratom and kratom only?
Exactly.
And it's like, not only is it directed at kratom, but it's literally putting people in jail
Yeah.
for just possessing kratom. Like
Right.
I mean, this is a heavy duty bill. This is not like, some little, I mean, this is going to affect millions of lives. This is going to affect, Tennessee, just like budget, I guess is what you could say, like, the money
The fiscal.
there you go. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to affect a bunch of stuff.
Tiffany told I'm comfortable saying this because she's saying it herself, but she told the assistant, herself and her small little business pays $40,000 a year in her taxes.
Wow.
And they're going to push her into Kentucky. If she can't stay open, if this pushes, she's going to move her store to Kentucky.
Yeah.
And that's just her. And her store is a smaller, cute little store. Think about the other ones. Like,
exactly.
But why isn't she suing Benadryl? Why isn't she suing
that's what I'm saying. Why doesn't she bring awareness to Benadryl dangers?
I'll tell you why. Because you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip. That's why,
Right.
How we always hear like, oh, they're not suing big alcohol. That's because big alcohol has been sued so many times. They're like tenfold on all the, like their stuff is, their bowl is sealed. Like,
yeah.
Like you'd have to really, but also it just also goes back to like, because it's on the fucking label. Like.
And now that like what we watched in Idaho, they talk about the warnings on the label. Like now they get mad that the warnings are on the label.
Yeah.
And they
which is the same warning. It's the same warning that any vitamin or supplement you buy has the same exact warning on it.
Dude, I agree with Laura. She said, I always wonder what the deceased would say about kratom if they could.
I've always said, if I pass away, I want my loved ones to make sure that nobody says it was from kratom. Y'all better fight and say, you got me on record right now saying it, actually.
Yeah.
If anything happens to me, God forbid, pull this up. It was not kratom.
Yeah, I've posted that multiple times. I feel like the loved ones are just rolling in their graves like a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I'll go back to play it.
It's so hard to hear.
And thank you. Sir, if you would introduce yourself, you have 3 minutes.
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Nick Conley. I'm a physician, board certified with family practice and with addiction medicine, also holding degrees of fellow in the American Society of Addiction Medicine and the American Academy of Family Practice. I'm medical director at Apex Recovery, which is a multi-center inpatient and outpatient, seeing approximately 120 folks a day. I did want to take time this afternoon to talk to you about Kratom and about Mitragynine. We are seeing a distinct uptick in the amount
That
of
dude can't even say it
Kratom
right.
treatment that is coming through our facility, both solo Kratom and Kratom combined with other substances.
He's getting an email.
To kind of hit a little bit on what does make Kratom unique. We do see interaction with opioid receptors, also interaction with dopamine receptors. This does create a rather unique withdrawal profile that does take a bespoke way of treatment. So traditionally what we've used for fentanyl is not comprehensive enough to cover all withdrawal that we're seeing. In addition, the cytokine P450 pathway, not to get too much into biochem lecture on it, but your body has certain enzymes that is able to metabolize different chemicals in the body. Way to think about this, if I handed y'all a flat pack from IKEA, you could put together the chair, no issue. If I gave you 5 of them, you're gonna have to choose which one you go to first. And that allows the other ones to start to ramp up or kind of overflow. And that's one thing that we're seeing with this, particularly Benadryl, the Diphenhydramine, also Duloxetine are metabolized through the cytochrome P450 pathway. So by ingesting, by utilizing Kratom, natural, synthetic, doesn't matter, we are seeing those bits increase. In addition, the other thing we're really seeing about this is lack of almost consent or knowledge of what's happening with this. Again and again, I'm getting from patients, I didn't know. I thought it was natural. I thought it was supposed to be safe. Isn't this better than ibuprofen? But yet, stop using, delay in use, and we're starting to get into horrible withdrawal symptoms that we're then having to treat and engage with. We're seeing folks losing time at work. And in some cases, a urine drug screen at work wasn't positive, and unknowingly, I was using a substance I didn't know. Now we're engaging in treatment. And so this is harming real Tennesseans on a daily basis and at an increased rate. So with all that combined here today to really encourage passing of this so that we can get this stuff out of our state. Thank you for your time.
You know what? I want to say, what do they give the patients when they're withdrawing from Suboxone?
That's a good question.
Well, probably the same thing they give you when you're withdrawing off of Fent and anything else, which is Ativan and that blood pressure medication that lowers.
Clonidine?
But typically in a rehab center, you're not going to see people trying to get off Suboxone. That's an unheard thing to me. I never met somebody who went to rehab to get off of it because they're just going to put you back on it. They're going to be like, here's the Sublocade shot. That'll work a lot better for you.
Oh, yeah, they are pushing that.
They pushed that shot so bad. It had just came out when I first got into rehab, and I told them, no, I'm not going to rehab to leave on drugs. I respect anybody on Suboxone that needs it to live. I have great respect for you. But for myself,
Right.
I didn't want to be, I'd already been the Suboxone route. It didn't work. I wanted to do it on my own terms. But they're going to push that. I'm sending him an email. And another thing I'm going to do is make it my life mission to destroy him and let everybody in the recovery community know. Do not send your children. Don't send your loved ones. Don't send anybody to that man because everything he just spewed is a huge lie. He knows it is. It goes against the science. So if he's willing to do that, that means he is doing this for money. It is solely money. He does not care about your loved ones. He doesn't. And that happens a lot in the recovery community.
Yeah.
He is lying. And he is speaking so much gibberish. No wonder that guy was confused. I didn't even realize how much gibberish he was speaking. Like, what are you even saying right now?
Yeah.
It literally makes no sense. And what are you talking about? Naloxone and all that won't work. Of course it won't work. It's not an opioid. Of course it won't work. If you're so ignorant to make that statement, you have no place in the recovery
Did you see
community.
those headlines after the last hearing or whatever? It was like, I can't remember. Well, I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but it was like,
It was something about Narcan not working on him.
I was trying to think. I'm totally blanked. Yeah, but it was like Narcan may not work on Kratom all the time. You know, like it's some kind of horrible thing, and it's like, yeah, it's not going to work on Kratom. Duh.
Yeah,
it might work on 708.
That would be like, I drank way too many Red Bulls. I need a Narcan shot to bring me out of that, please.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not going to do anything because it doesn't work on the same pathways. So that man is just spewing nothing but lies, or like I like to call it now, willful ignorance. He's
Yeah.
only
Or he
read a couple of
talks about
headlines, and that's
708.
what he's regurgitating. You know what I mean? He hasn't taken the time to learn. And that is scary as hell in a recovery community. That is so scary. I know predators like him. They preyed on
Yes.
me the whole time I was in recovery. They're predators. They want your money. It's big
Mhm.
money for rehab. It'll be big money when a bunch of people are needing to go there because they don't have their, I hate to word it like that, because I don't feel like if you're coming off pure leaf kratom, you'll be fine. You are going to be
Yeah.
absolutely, you might be slightly uncomfortable, but you're not going to be shitting yourself.
Yeah.
You're not going to, sorry, excuse me. You're not going to be like vomiting and wishing for pure death. You're just going to be a little uncomfortable, a little restless.
But I mean,
No,
when you're
Laura
going through
Benning,
rehab, go ahead.
Oh my
Laura
God.
Benning Kratom would be massive business for the addiction community.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
And you know
nobody
what?
wants
I
to be
think
uncomfortable.
he's conflating Kratom with 708.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Absolutely. Yep.
I guess.
I mean, and that's like, but yeah, I mean, when you're going into rehab, like you are at your most vulnerable, and those people
And they
are
take
sharp.
advantage of you. And I watched it. And the reason why I was kicked out of like 6 different rehabs while I was there is because I was the only adult. I was the oldest one. It was a bunch of kids in their 20s on their parents' insurance. They didn't care what was happening, but I was alert and aware, and I brought it up. And to them, that was a problem. So they'd make up some reason for me to go.
Yeah.
I've seen TikTok videos of, pretty much like their predatory behaviors, and
Oh, it's
they're
horrible.
body brokering. The body
Yeah.
broker.
Yep.
Some of the people that are working there, like they'll have your house attendants, would be like 2-3 months sober. Why do you have people that just got sober working with current addicts? Like none of it made sense. It was just, in California, you could throw a rock. You could literally stand in any neighborhood, throw a rock, and you'd hit a sober living. There's so much money. My
Yeah.
recovery cost $1 million. Of course, we didn't pay that, but insurance. We had a kid there that his cost $2 million. It's a big
Oh my
business.
gosh.
It's
And
a
that's for one
big
person.
business. It's huge. And they own these big mansions, and they put you up in these, I could go on and on about it. It's horrible.
Well, the place this dude's in is Brentwood, so it's in the fancy
Oh yeah.
place of Nashville, the rich folks
Right, because
area.
that's how they get you in. They get you
Yep.
in by like, oh, look at this luxury place. We have a pool, we have a spa. And we fell for it. We did. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I was like, yeah, that looks nice. I can do that place, without doing the real research of who is running it. What is their program like? And, I'm like anybody else. Shiny glitter, I want
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? But in reality, you need to make sure that people like him are not running where you're going to go, where you're going to send your loved ones to, because that is dangerous. And so
Yeah.
many people die at the hands of people like him.
And
If
for all we
somebody,
know, he's not
ran,
even like
I'm sorry,
practicing.
if somebody ran from the rehab, they didn't care. They're like, oh, so-and-so's gone. No follow-up, no police call, no nothing. It was just an open bed for them to bring the new person
Yeah.
in.
Yep.
And that was so scary to me. I'm like, what do you mean you're not calling anybody? Like, shouldn't we be doing something? They
I mean,
don't
that's
care.
just insane. Like,
It is.
it's just, and then you have him coming in as an expert witness, just
He's
because
not
you're
an
in a
expert.
fancy dancy place and your place brings in a lot of money does not make you an
That's
expert.
okay, because my
You
new
know?
life mission will be to make sure that I taint his name in the community, because I am in a recovery community, and I'll make sure I taint his name. Real quick, you guys, I want to tell you this. I am in front of, I do not remember his name, but we had lunch with him at the hot dog place.
Oh, Keith.
What is it?
Keith.
Keith. I'm sitting outside his smoke shop. I'm going to walk in here in a few minutes, because
Okay,
I
yeah.
wanted to go check it out and see what it was all about.
Oh, well, he may not be in there, but if he is, we'll say hi to him.
Yeah, right. He had said that if he wasn't there, to have his employees call. I won't do all that. I was just curious.
Well, you can always mute it. We don't,
Yeah, just mute it. Okay, I'm gonna go back to play.
Okay.
Thank you. And you're next, sir. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today, speak to the committee, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matthew Bruin. I'm a psychotherapist and an addiction specialist, PhD. I'm also the principal and CEO of Apex Recovery. Apex Recovery is a proud member of Tennessee. We serve men and women across the state who have issues with mental health as well as substance use disorder, which is why I'm here today, because this issue is an increasing one within our census and something that I'm very passionate about. I'm in a unique experience because you all have adopted me into your fine state. I've been here for 5 years, and I absolutely love Tennessee. It's the best place I've ever lived. I hail from Colorado originally and then came by Southern California for 23 years. I like to think of that time I was in exile. What I can tell you is both of my previous 2 states had similar things in common, and that is the legalization of marijuana and cannabis. I have lived my life through situations like we find ourselves today here in the state of Tennessee. What starts as a relatively benign small item quickly grows and expands until there are devastating issues that go across the state. And I would like to not see that repeat here in the state of Tennessee. You'll hear some arguments today, 2 of them being that somehow Kratom leaf differs from 7-OH. I want to assure everyone that the distillation process and the synthesization process is no different from cocaine to crack or from hashish to cannabis. Cannabis at one point had 3 to 5% THC content. Today, there are places in this country that have legalized 90 to 95% amounts. We're seeing that same thing with Kratom. Finally, I want to touch base just from a personal level. I want to tell you 2 quick patient stories.
That's not Kratom, though. That is not
Nope.
Kratom. That is
Nope.
7-OH.
And he knows that. He knows that.
No different thing. Oh, God.
Oh, it gets better, you guys. Wait until the comment he's about to make. Be sitting down for the comment he's about to make. I'm telling you, because you're going to fall out.
I already feel my blood pressure rising.
Girl, when I was in there, my blood pressure, I was like, ooh, we were all like, ooh. And when he makes this comment, you might even be able to hear us in the background because everybody was like, what?
I think this dude has a spray tan. And I guarantee you he's one of those dudes that don't wear socks with his
I'm
dress
telling you
shoes.
guys, private investigator fundraiser. We are going to do it and we are going to investigate because I can tell you he's on the naughty list and I know that for facts. He's on the naughty list. Watch. They want to play. We'll play.
He's a pro. He's a pro expert witness.
Yeah, throw me in jail for whatever they want to do because I don't care. I mean, I don't know if they can for slander, but
Well, as long as your slander is correct, you won't.
and it is correct. I can prove with facts what they're saying is so incorrect. Why all of a sudden is this little Apex Recovery in Tennessee so much smarter than all the researchers, all the data, all the scientists, all the people who take it responsibility?
People that have been doing research for over 2 decades.
Right, but he's from Apex, so his word's gold. Please. He's worse than a car salesman. They're sleazier than a car salesman.
Yeah. Okay, going back to play.
One about a man who lost his wife and family who was ingesting 5 big gulp glasses of, yes, loose leaf kratom daily. It is extremely addictive. And finally, I'm joined in the back row by my beautiful wife and daughter. My daughter had a individual who actually went to her school for a short period of time and happened to find his way into my rehab center just several weeks ago. He told me and asked me to tell you guys that as a individual who started smoking crack cocaine at age 13 years old, the most high he has ever been is on Kratom. That young man has done every drug in the arsenal, and that was his comment. So I ask you all to
do what?
I could not with that comment. I wanted to lose.
Are you
as somebody who has actually done that? Yeah, no, not even close. At this point, I'm shaking my picture in the background at this point, and I think this is the point where the deputy guy comes over and tells me I can't hold it so high. He said, you can hold it, but you got to lower it a little bit. I was like,
He's
okay.
taking bags and bags a day. He saw a picture now. He's saying multiple bags of big gulps. Yeah.
Multiple
Yeah.
bags of big gulps. And like I said earlier, you guys, if you're doing that, you're chasing something that's not even there.
Yeah.
It's
And
not there. What are you
that kid he's
looking
talking
for?
about, he was obviously, if he started smoking crack and stuff at 13, was getting sold some bunk ass crack, because that is
Yeah,
not true. Even
right.
if it was like the most pure 7-OH in the world, it is not going to get you
There's
higher than
no
crack
way.
or fucking meth or
If
cocaine or
it was
whatever.
a substance that offered any kind of euphoria, like any of these drugs they're mentioning, I would be on it like crazy. I got bags of it laying around in my truck right now. You know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah.
That comment sent
Insane.
me reeling. My blood
Like,
pressure at that point went like I almost blacked out.
for as long as it's been in the United States, like, say, let's just say, if it has been, I know it's been much longer than 10 years, but let's just say it's been 10 years, there would be mass hysteria.
Yep.
People would be like, you see all those videos of people, like, passed out, nodding
Right.
off on the street
Doing
and
the fanny
shit.
fold. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like that everywhere. Get the hell out of
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it would be. And the reason why we're just now seeing it it's 7-OH. Like, why don't they want to deal with the real problem? Because I've said this before. If 7-OH and those kind of products have ingredients, Kratom does not have ingredients. It has alkaloids. Once they take away Kratom, the smoke shop or whoever creates the stuff will come out with a new thing. Something will replace it, 100% guaranteed, just like with spice and everything else.
Yeah.
But there is nothing that can replace pure leaf Kratom. It's
Right.
going to go away because it doesn't have ingredients. So they can't be like, oh, here, let me alter this a little bit. That way we can sell it now. No, but they're going to have another chemical substance that they're going to do that with.
It's already happening with 7-OH being taken away. They're ahead of the game.
Yeah, because I've seen like
game for them, and they're already ahead of that. When 7-OH started being, when the government did their release last year in July, their press conference, these 7-OH drug dealers are already one step ahead of the government. They've created the MGM-15, the MGM-16. They created pseudodoxil. And anytime someone comments that on my TikToks, I say that is faker than 7-OH.
Right, it is. Yep. I remember in Washington, where I lived, that they would ban spice. It would always pass. But then what these companies would do is they would change one ingredient because the law only passed to ban this product, right? So if they change a couple ingredients, it's no longer that product. They weren't addressing like one certain ingredient. And so all they did was change it and then rebrand it. It's still there, but you won't be able to do that with pure leaf because pure leaf is just that. It's a pure botanical product or leaf. It's not even a product. God made it. It's from the earth.
Yeah, it's not man-made.
Right.
Okay, I don't know where Jen went. All right, I'll go back to play.
Would you all want your sons and daughters to use this legally?
Yeah.
Thank
if
you
they
for
were in
allowing me
pain,
time.
yeah.
I've offered it to my adult children.
Right.
You're next, sir. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jack Henningfield. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, formerly with the National Institute on Drug Abuse. I'm trained in addiction science, been doing that for 50 years. I recently published a book, an authoritative text on Kratom science, probably the only one in this room that's actually done science with 7-hydroxy and Kratom in clinical studies in animals. I want to make a factual correction. There is a big difference between natural Kratom, which contains almost no 7-hydroxy, and synthetic 7-hydroxy. And 7-hydroxy can be 13 times more strong on certain measures than morphine, not Kratom. And I've done the research, and there's lots of research, mostly supported by the National Institute on Drug Abuse. I'm really sorry about the death. Any son, any child, that's the worst thing in the world. But what we need to reduce deaths across the board is regulation, not prohibition and criminalizing Kratom users. of which there are about 500,000 in Tennessee. I'm in agreement with the FDA and the Secretary of Health, who in July released a report saying 7-hydroxy is a serious problem. It has opioid effects. We can call it an opioid. By the same criteria, Kratom does not. And I've done my reports submitted to the FDA and DEA, and I concur with them. And the Secretary and FDA Commissioner also said 7-hydroxy is the problem. They said our concern is not Kratom. And they sent a letter to colleagues across the nation stating that fact. You can get my report, you can get the FDA report, and the FDA report will verify everything that I am telling you today. So most overdose deaths in this country are polypharmacy. The medical examiner did not say it was a Kratom death that happened to Mr. Carpenter. They list several drugs
Had the wrong
that
last
were in
name.
the system.
You did.
The other drugs are the most likely cause of death. FDA's own statement on Kratom lethality risk is, and I quote, deaths associated with Kratom are rare and generally involve other substances. And right now we've got more than 20 million people using Kratom. To illustrate their point, the FDA Commissioner and Secretary Kennedy included a chronic pain patient on their panel. And they wanted to make the point that even this is not an approved drug, people like her use it on a daily basis to manage pain, in some cases treating addiction. And that's what my colleagues are studying at Hopkins, and the National Institute on Drug Abuse is studying. How do we treat addiction? The most recent study that was another study just on that. So there's a big difference. I'm going to quote the FDA Commissioner. There is a world of difference between Kratom and 7-hydroxy. So please take action, make regulations, ban 7-hydroxy as 19 other states have done.
Thank you, sir. That's all the time you have. Ma'am, you're recognized.
Thank you so much. Chairman Farmer and members of the committee, I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Dr. Heidi Sikora. I'm a doctor of nursing practice, retired nurse practitioner, and healthcare executive. I volunteer as the Chief Scientific Officer for the International Plant and Herbal Alliance. I want to begin by expressing my condolences to the Davenport family. Losing an adult child is a loss no parent should have to endure. Honoring Matthew's life requires that we tell the truth about what happened to him. The official Hamilton County Medical Examiner's report lists diphenhydramine, also known as Benadryl, Mitragynine or Mitragynine in Kratom leaf, Duloxetine, and Buspirone intoxication. Mitragynine or Mitragynine, the primary alkaloid in the natural Kratom leaf, was included in the list of substances, but was not listed as the cause of death. The report did not identify the primary cause of death, except to say that it was intoxication by the multiple substances. The toxicology level tells the story clearly. The diphenhydramine or Benadryl level was 3,000 nanograms per milliliter. That level alone is a fatal level. So if he had no other substances in his system and had that level, it could have led to his death. Duloxetine and Buspirone were also markedly elevated. These medications cause serious interactions, not just additive, but they actually multiply the interaction. And they can cause fatal central nervous system depression, cardiac arrhythmia, and serotonin toxicity. The manner of death was ruled accidental, not poisoning by Kratom. There is no known mechanism by which Kratom leaf causes sudden death in humans, and this case does not establish one. I know it's not the Davenport's family intention to harm anybody or use Matthew's memory in that way, but that will be the outcome if a ban is passed. People like Jennifer Gillis would be hurt the most. She traveled here twice from Memphis. But her transverse myelitis, which causes spinal cord inflammation, if you can imagine that type of pain, does not allow her to travel a third time here to speak. The medications available to her cause sedation and actual gait instability. Those are risks that she just cannot take. Natural kratom is the only option that she can tolerate that helps her function safely. A ban would remove the one tool she has left. A ban, HB 1649, would ban the plant itself, harming thousands, tens of thousands of Tennesseans who benefit from kratom for stability, pain relief, and maintaining sobriety.
Thank you, ma'am. That's all the time you have, and appreciate
I
your
appreciate
testimony there.
you.
Sir, you're recognized.
That
Thank
was
you.
so nice of her to be my voice because she knew I was so upset about not being.
I know,
mean,
when she did, I was like,
yeah. I like
yes.
the voice for just every, like, when I testify anywhere, it's like, that's the reason I do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For all the people that are affected that don't know what's going on or is not there. But I was just super cool. I mean, I was really nice.
I love that.
I thought it was
Heidi.
nice. And it was to send home a point too, that somebody who they think is on these drugs that are so bad does not make trips like that to go
Yeah.
try and speak in front of them. That's not
Yeah.
that
You
type
don't
of
make
behavior.
a 4 to 6 hour drive high as
Right.
shit.
Oh my
And
Right.
God,
then,
Jennifer, talk about your drive home.
oh my God. And then, the drive home, oh my God, it was raining so, like, I haven't
It was
driven
bad.
in that kind of weather in probably since I was in my 30s. And
We were
I'm talking
so
about,
worried about you.
I was scared. At first, I was like really stubborn. I'm like, I'm doing this anyway. But then I was like, I don't want to die from my stubbornness. I mean, it was scary, and it was dark. And, but I mean, my thing is like, if I'm able to physically do it and I'm able to do it, rearrange my life a little bit, I'm going to do it. This is my state and I'm going to show
Right.
out.
Right.
I mean,
You
I
got-
have degenerative disc disease in my back and my hips, right?
Mhm.
And just me sitting on a 2.5 hour plane ride,
Yeah.
to get there.
Well, packing, walking. I mean, when you're disabled, when you have a chronic illness or, just chronic pain in general, that shit, I mean, you're not like a normie walking around bebopping and, you struggle even though we have kratom, even though I have kratom to manage my chronic pain, we still have things in our lives that don't make us perfect.
Yeah.
You know what
Right.
I'm
Well,
saying?
and it won't take it 100% away. Nothing takes
Right.
pain. Not even narcotics take pain 100% away.
Yeah.
It just makes it more doable.
Terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you're going to make us all suffer. I don't know. If my child passed away, I definitely wouldn't want their namesake covered,
Yeah.
making thousands of people suffer. I wouldn't want that. She has to
I would do
hear us.
something more positive with
Right.
my,
'Cause she hears us. She hears what we're saying what Heidi just said about what it's going to do to people, and that she's sure she doesn't have the intent to do that. I'm sorry. I'm going to disagree with Heidi. Heidi's such a sweetheart. I think she does have intent to do that. And at the
Well,
very
as a
end, Heidi
nurse-
said she's right there because Karen was standing over here and she was like, you could go talk to her. And I said, Heidi, I can't. I'm not
Yeah.
that recovered. I'm like at
Yeah.
80%. If I was at 100, maybe, but I might not be saying things I want to say because to even look at her upsets me so much. And I know that she's probably Christian too. And I'm just going to quote what my mama always said, and that's that God does not like ugly. And
Yeah.
she is being ugly.
She is Christian.
Yeah, well, God don't like ugly, Karen. If y'all watching this, he don't like that, and you're being ugly. You're taking away something he created, so you just keep that on your heart every night when you say your prayers.
Yeah. And like I was saying, 2.5 hour plane ride, and I'm all, because I'm a big girl, but I'm all smushed in the plane seat, So when I go to stand up, I'm like, oh man, I gotta do it slow,
Right.
And then you gotta walk through the damn airports.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Thank God for my Ed, because he knows me well enough to stand up before me and put his hand out. Even my daughter's picked up on that now. She starts holding her hand out because mama can't just bounce up. It takes a second sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is that if Jen was on the narcotics, there's no way in hell she would have been able to drive the 4
No,
hours.
nope.
Not at all.
They could have gotten her for a DUI. Like that, I got a DUI. You know, I was
Right.
high on my narcotics.
And I mean, I'll be honest, like if I was going to be doing some shit like that, I would have been way overdoing it on the pain. Cause I mean, it's like, it didn't like, you know, with Kratom, it does like, it naturally takes the pain away without making you feel any different, like mentally, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're not impaired, but it's like
Right.
with pain medicine, it was like I was constantly like, I'm still not feeling better. I'm just gonna keep on and just at least I'll like feel fuzzy in the head, even
Right.
though I'll be in pain, so I can deal with it type of thing.
Right.
You know, so I
But-
mean,
Heidi made a good point when she mentioned about how, because you're already unstable, so now if we throw this intoxicating thing, you're going to be even more unstable and have a higher risk at hurting yourself because
Yeah.
you're a little off. You know, your head's a little fuzzy. Kratom does not make you fuzzy in the slightest. It doesn't throw
Right.
my gait off. It doesn't throw anything off.
No,
My pain
it
off, but
doesn't.
that's about it.
Kratom doesn't cloud your judgment
right.
at all. You
If
know?
anything, it may, and I mean, you know, I have a lot of like brain fog and stuff like that that comes with my transverse myelitis, and if anything, it helps it. I mean, you know, don't help it all the way again, but I mean, you know, I'm not just. It's a different feeling. It's like more like you're awake. You're more
Yeah.
awake.
That's what I was
in
going to say.
life.
Like when I take it in the morning, it's kind of